What is happening, my nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. These are the voyages of nerds who come together to have a place where we can talk about anything. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, superheroes. Went into a little bit of a Christopher Walken thing almost there. Games, toys, yes, even Star Trek, and so much more. To boldly go where a lot of other people go, but not as well as we do. That's right. Heck yeah. You have tuned in to the Poindexter Lounge. You are in the right place. Welcome, everybody, to the Poindexter Lounge. I am Enosh, a.k.a. Enosh Fett, and we're going to have some fun tonight because tonight we are finally doing something that I've wanted to do actually for quite a while. Everybody goes, hey, Enosh, we know you're a big DC fan. We know you're a Star Wars fan, obviously, as I am, but a lot of you may not realize that I'm a big Star Trek fan. I'm a big Trekkie, or Trekker, as people called it there for a while. There was a lot of debate there for a while. I believe there was even a whole documentary about it there that went on. But welcome tonight. It is good to have you. If this is your first time to the lounge, we're just going to have some fun tonight. So, hey, we talk about a lot of different things. And tonight we're talking about Star Trek. So I don't think it gets any nerdier than that. So if you are a nerd and you like nerd stuff, hey, hit that subscribe button right up there and that notifications bell so that you know when we put out new videos. And then also hit that like button if you dig what we're doing around here. If you've been around for a while, maybe there's a lot of people, maybe you've just been watching the channel, you've been kind of biding your time waiting for Enosh to slip up to do something that you're gonna hate so that you can just walk away free and clear as if you never subscribed, as if you were never literally a part of us. But tonight I urge you to take that leap. Yes, do something that goes beyond anything you thought you would before, and hit that subscribe button and that like button, because that like button just tells YouTube that people actually dig us and they like what we're doing around here. And so if you like us, hey, that's what you should do. Hey, but tonight is going to be a fun night. I have wanted to talk Star Trek for quite a while. And you can't just talk Star Trek with anybody, because not everybody gets it. There's people who randomly get it, but not quite. And so I knew, ladies and gentlemen, if there was one person in all of the streamers that we work with and cohabitate with here on YouTube, that there was one guy, only one. I mean, there's other guys who like Star Trek. Don't get me wrong. So I don't want to offend anybody, because Lord knows they'll jump in here and be like, "Why didn't I get a link?" But here's the thing. Here's the guy that I wanted to do this with. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. No, I'm not trying to steal him over from Mad Max. He's got a seat over on Mad Max's couch. Ladies and gentlemen, though, welcome to the show, Brian Hill, Master of None. What's up, Brian?
Nothing much, man. Pretty good.
Welcome aboard.
Greetings and salutations, peace and long life. How's everybody doing?
Absolutely. Live long and prosper. Dude, you look great.
Thank
you. Look at you.
I can say the same.
Thanks, man. I know it's Kelvin timeline suit, but you know what?
That was one of the better parts of the Kelvin timeline.
Here's the thing. This was given to me actually. Here's the thing. I saw this on Facebook Marketplace, and the lady had it for $5, and it was my size, and I was like, well, yeah. So I reached out to her, and then she didn't reach out to me for a couple of days, and then so she got back to me. She goes, "Hey, are you in town?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "If you want it, you can have it. It's free." I was like, "Okay,
right on."
So I got a free costume. So just for such a time as this, for sure. Hey, man, I'm glad we're finally talking Star Trek.
Me too, man. Long time coming.
For sure, man. I tell you what, we've been talking about wanting to talk Star Trek, and we're going to finally get our chance to do so tonight. Now, first of all, I want to say hi to everybody who's here. I want to see who the diehards are, who they saw the fact that we were going to be talking Star Trek tonight, that it wasn't going to be DC, it wasn't going to be Star Wars, it was going to be something like that. They're like, Lower Decks, what? Yeah, sure, I'll still go hang out.
Yeah, usually when I bring it up on Max's channel, that's when the views start going down.
Yeah, what? We're losing phobic.
Yeah, right.
Viewers.
Well, I think in terms of nerddom and all that kind of stuff, Star Trek still kind of is that niche property. It's one of those things that Yeah, I as much as it pains me to say it because I love it, but
Which is crazy because Star Trek. I mean, it's really the first big one.
oh
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like as
absolutely.
far as sci-fi at least goes, I mean, like it's true science fiction.
Yeah,
It really
absolutely.
is. I mean,
Mhm.
there were movies and stuff and films obviously that came out, for years. But as far as like just pure science fiction that kind of came out of that whole era that was given a chance, to thrive on TV. And it didn't, I mean, honestly, it didn't complete its 5-year mission even though,
Yeah, yeah. It only went
originally.
3 seasons for the original series.
Yeah, but it came back in a big way.
Mhm.
And and then it just kind of grew from there. And here we are, what, 50 some odd years. How long has Star Trek been around?
It started in 64 was when the pilot was, but I think it aired in 66.
Yeah, man.
So
I mean, so it's been around a long
55,
time.
almost 60 years.
Yeah, man. So it's been around a long time. So we're gonna go in here though. We're gonna go ahead and see who's in here. What's up, Jeff? The higher, the fewer. What's up, Ronan? This is 12:15 a.m. Right? Hey, well, we had to get it right. 5:15 in the UK. What's up, Gavin? What's up, Ed? I was so jacked after Fandom, I couldn't sleep. Right? Star Trek Lower Decks is pretty sweet. Love it. Good. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So that's good. Welcome to the Point Extra Lounge. Gavin's one of our moderators, so thank you. A huge fan of the ship. I dig the ship too. We're going to get into talk about all that stuff, but yeah. Okay. But see, Jeff's around. Jeff says, now you're in my territory, baby. So there we go. See, we got
Right
a little
on.
something. We got a little something for everybody. What do you mean? What am I wearing? Come on. You know what I'm wearing. Check it out. Check me out, man. I'll tell you, I guess this is the first time I've ever cosplayed. I feel like I'm in my captain's chair. Although I swear to God, one day I'm going to like break right out of this chair. I've been looking for a new chair.
Yeah, this
Brian.
one's not really made for the big folk.
Well, Brian, I have had this chair now. I realized this week that I've had this chair for 20 years. And a bolt came out of the bottom of it.
Oh no.
And and like there was like a day like about a month ago that I was sitting in this chair and I leaned over to the side and like the whole side just went bloop. And I was like, whoa, glad that didn't happen on air.
Yeah, that'd
have been fun. And so now like it won't lean back quite right. Like if you lean back in it, it kind of leans to the side. And so it's just weird. So I've been online looking for a new chair. So what's up, Captain Fett? I like it. Darth Tasty there, 2099. What's going on, man? Look at there, Jeff. Jeff starting it out already. Live long and prosper. I'm good, music man. How are you? Give you back one of these. You go from that to that. There you go. Rock on, my brother. Let's see who else is here. We'll get it. We'll get into it. But let's see. Tasty there. Hey, Mark. What's up, Mark? Yo, Mark loves him some Star Trek too, all the way from Hawaii. Nice. Yes, I've watched all 3 episodes, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. It says it says 5:22 a.m. Are you in Turkey, or are you just a turkey? What's up, Yova Rods? Good to see you.
Buddy.
Says hi to both of us there. Nice. Richard says, how are you wonderful people doing? Good. Doing okay. We're talking Star Trek at 12:15 a.m. I feel like we're like one of those like public access shows, right? Like it's 12:26 in the a.m. and you're listening to Star Trek Talk with Brian and Enosh. Sit right back.
Where their garage is made out to the bridge.
Yes. Yes. Hey, you know what? Yeah, the chair is older than my kids. You're right. Holy crap. It's time to get a new chair. Yeah. So, Tiffany thought that I just broke my chair. She actually has a computer chair in the other room that's in our patio room because we took her stuff out there. And so she wasn't suggesting that I use her computer chair until I told her how old this chair was. Because she thought that I was just like messing around and it being stupid online. And so when I told her, I said, well, no, the chair's just old, honey. She goes, oh, okay, well, that's fine. You can use my chair then. So, all right. So we've said hello. We've said our pleasantries. Are you ready to take the Kobayashi Maru?
Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
All right, let's do this. So, guys, we are talking tonight about Lower Decks. This is the newest offering, one of the new offerings from CBS and their new streaming service. And this has created quite a controversy, Brian, in the Star Trek community and abroad. I gotta say,
very mixed feelings.
So I kind of wanted to see it when it came up, but I know a lot of people who are very against this. Now, isn't this made by the same people who who are doing Rick and Morty?
Yeah, one of the co-creators is heading it up. Mike McKinnon, I think is his name.
Yeah, and you can tell. I mean, from the animation and the quirkiness, you can kind of tell from some of the pacing.
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
definitely. The style is there.
Yeah, I even told because I'll be honest with you, I've had a real hard time getting my kids into Star Trek. Like, it's not as exciting and fast paced as Star Wars. You know,
yeah, especially if you're talking like the next gen. I mean, yeah, I got into it, but if it wasn't for some other like the movies or something like that, I probably wouldn't have had the push into that.
Yeah, and so like I've had a real hard time. Like, they like the movies. They've seen the movies, but other than that, I was joking before we got online here, guys. I'm struggling with my Dickie. This Dickie is not long enough. I will say that. Like it like you can see a little bit behind the scenes here. Like, so if it doesn't fall just right. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I used to have the Voyager one, the costume that had like the foam communicator pin on it.
Yeah,
and yeah, I had a Dickie too. It was gray. It was like it didn't fit right.
Oh man, but yeah. So like this has been one of those things. Like I've had a real hard time getting my kids into Star Trek. But I really felt after watching this because my younger son Logan, he just discovered Rick and Morty in a huge way. Like a huge way. Like all of a sudden everything's Rick and Morty. We got him a giant pickle Rick on the way home from Vegas, and he's really enjoying that. And so I told him, I said, because and plus he's 15 years old and already knows that he wants to be an engineer. Oh, right. Dude. Like, so
what better show to watch, honestly,
dude. That's what I was telling him. Like, dude, you got that mind already, man. You got that Star Trek type of mind. I'm like, dude, like you should check this show out. Like, because I was watching it and I was just like, this is a show that I think Logan would appreciate. Plus, but yeah, it's interesting. What got you into Star Trek, Brian?
Well, mostly friends. Just being around a couple of friends that happen to be Star Trek fans, and I go hang out and spend some time over at the at his house, and we'd watch episodes of Deep Space Nine, and that's kind of how I got into the show.
That's cool.
Being more of a Star Wars fan before I started out, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I was always a Star Wars fan, obviously. I mean, pretty obvious here, but just kind of looking at some of the question marks. Whoa, did I warp speed to Star Trek? Awesome, Brian, thanks, man. But yeah, I got into it. My first recollection of Star Trek, I mean, I know that I saw the reruns of the original TV show when I was really young, but I'll be honest with you, my first remembering really what Star Trek was, when I remember really enjoying it and like paying attention to it, was Wrath of Khan.
Yeah,
because I lived out in Vegas in this little apartment complex that it was like there was these little studio apartments that I lived with my mom and my stepdad, and they had free HBO. And 1 month, and this was like what, 1983, beginning of 83 that this would have been probably. And so end of 82, beginning of 83, and so yeah, man, like it was a whole month, because that's how HBO worked,
exactly.
Man. It's like, you got a whole month of the same stuff, and then next month you got something different, But yeah, you got a whole month of Wrath of Khan just played over and over again, and every time it came on, I just loved it even more, and I just grew up with that. And I remember going from that to I don't remember seeing Search for Spock very often. Like I saw it like a couple of times. But I convinced my grandma to take me to see The Voyage Home.
Well, the best part about Star Trek 3 is Christopher Lloyd.
Oh yeah, heck yeah! Now that I'm an adult, yeah, heck yeah.
You go back and you look and you're like, that was before Dr. Brown.
I know that was before. There's so many amazing people that have.
Christy Alley got her first movie role in that.
I know, man. She was Saavik.
Yeah,
she was Saavik, and then didn't come back.
Yeah, she wasn't. Robin Curtis took over for the next two movies.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, you're not all by yourself. You're just on Facebook. Everybody else is over here on YouTube. Maybe that's what I shouldn't have done. Because I can dual stream it.
I did that earlier when I was playing Star Wars.
So I don't know if this shows me how many people are on both. Like, you know what I mean? Like watching both. So I don't know.
I was kind of confused. I think most of my views actually came from Facebook.
No, there you go.
My friends and family found me. So I was like, oh, hey, guys, what's up?
I know. That's the best way for friends and family to find you, right? Because they're not on YouTube. Bruce, you're all right, man. Don't worry. You don't suck. You don't suck. You're all good. But so like so many people have come through Star Trek. I mean, whether it be the TV shows, whether it be the movies, whether it be the Next Generation. I mean, just so many people. And
The Rock. He was
The Rock?
The Rock was in Star Trek Voyager.
Was he really?
It was his first television role.
Was it really? I think I missed that. See, I started watching Voyager. I loved the premise of Voyager. And then it just started getting a little... I didn't
watch the last season of Voyager until years later.
See, I had to go back and I just watched the end. I totally...
Endgame.
I totally just skipped, like... I think I watched how many seasons did it run?
It went 7. All 3 of those series went 7 seasons.
Yeah, so I think I watched the first 2 seasons and then I just kind of fell out of it. And so then I came back in. Like, I didn't come back in. Because I didn't know when it was going to end. But I remember I realized one day I never saw how that ended. Like, I need to go watch how that ended. And so I found it. And, you know, like on Netflix or wherever it's on right now. And I ended up watching it. And I was like, oh, that's how it ended. Okay, cool. You know, they got home. Yeah.
It wasn't horrible, but it was like,
yeah, I mean, but I know that it added a lot to the lore.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's kind of going forward after that was where it started getting difficult, because how many stories can you tell when you have basically 30 years of just that storyline of television? Not 30 years, but a good solid 10, 15 years of that line of television.
Yeah, well, and you know, see, that's the thing too. So I did start watching Enterprise, and I didn't think I was going to like that as much, but I love Scott Bakula.
Oh yeah.
So with Scott Bakula being the captain, I really started liking that show. The problem that I think is with that with all of Star Trek television is it starts to follow the same. That was one of the things that I know a lot of people liked about Deep Space Nine, was because Star Trek all kind of followed the same formula.
Yeah, it was formulaic in the sense that it would just, you know, it wasn't creature of the week sci-fi kind of stuff, but a lot of the same story tropes would be used over in different ways, but you could see through it after a couple of seasons.
Yeah, and you ended up with this. I mean, you got a captain, you got your first officer, you got, you know, your different people, you know, you got a doctor, you got a ship, you know. I mean, even if you try to change up what the ship is, you're still going to have a ship and you're going to have something different, you know. And
well,
so
yeah. Well, it's a space western at the end of the day. It's like you have your, you know, you got your all your tropes from a western, but just in space. You know? And a bartender. You know, each one of the shows has their own bartender. So it was like,
Whoopi Goldberg, man. Whoopi Goldberg, man. Is Guinan, man. I tell you what, it's good stuff. But so I remember when I was a kid. This is a fresh memory. This is like one of those memories that are like right there. I don't even know how we got into doing this, because it wasn't like, I mean, I guess Next Generation was pretty popular at the time, but this would have been probably like 87, 88. So I was probably like 11, 12 years old. And I remember me and my friends, we set up my friend's house, and the upstairs was all like, nobody was living in the upstairs of their house. They had this big 2-story house and nobody lived upstairs. Their parents had a bedroom downstairs. My buddy had a bedroom downstairs, and his brothers all moved out. So all the bedrooms upstairs, which was almost like an apartment to itself, it like had a little kitchenette and it had like 3 bedrooms upstairs. It was huge. Yeah. And so he moved his bedroom up there. And when he moved his bedroom up there, we had like an extra bedroom that we could just like go in and like chill and play video games and stuff. And we had seats set up and everything in there. And we set up like a big, like 8-foot table. And then we set up like a couple of like he had like these 2 moving chairs. So we sat them up there. And then like we had like a captain's chair type of deal and stuff that we set up. And And then it was cool because it was looking towards a wall, so that was supposed to be our view screen.
Yeah.
And then we just took like random like parts of stuff and like put it on the table and stuff like that, so we could act like we were pushing buttons and doing stupid stuff. And we would play Star Trek, dude. And we would take turns being the captain, and we just imagine our own craziness, right? And then it was funny because always at the end we'd beat whatever. Of course, then we'd all do the trope of getting thrown out of our chairs and stuff, because the ship would get blasted and stuff, and we'd all go
the rocket. And
well, it's funny because the captain's chair was like this kind of like I don't know what it was. It was just like a living room kind of chair or whatever. And so, but you could flip it over without breaking it or anything. And so like the captain would always go flying out of the chair and stuff, and we just have a good time. And then at the end, of course, we would get back to Starfleet, and we would be welcomed back and rewarded. We'd all stand there all proper, like acting like we were getting rewarded.
Standing at attention.
And yeah, right. You're listening to how Enash played when he was a kid right now.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
we
so
did the same thing.
Did you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had the big old comfy chair that I'd sit in all the time, and I'd watch the episodes and rock back and forth and stuff like that. It was a little sadder because it was by myself, but other than that, no. I had a buddy though that had the Next Generation toys, like the bridge setup that you showed the one time. But they had the transporter room that was really cool because it actually worked.
Yes, and
it had like a little mirror inside that would turn, and it's like, oh wow, that was so cool.
I know there was like all there. There were really cool Star Trek toys. They didn't catch on as much as other toys did.
Well, the thing is Star Trek, even when this is the thing, okay, and that's why it's like I think being a Star Trek fan is a little bit different because we were hated back in the day. Like, we're the nerds. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I mean, like,
yep.
And that's why I get upset sometimes because it was like, Star Wars was the cool kids.
Oh yeah.
Everybody loves Star Wars, but like
my dick is coming out.
Oh no!
Everybody, turn your head.
Flashing the camera. But no, like I remember being a kid and getting excited about watching the last episode of Star Trek, and then going to school the next day and not being able to tell a soul.
Yeah.
And so it's like when I see
Cylon was there with you. Cylon was there with you. We were hated. Truth.
I mean, seriously, and to a point, we still are. Like, and I don't want to play like we're the victims, but I mean, honestly, like, if you've seen the movie Fanboys,
yes.
There's that part where it's like, the Star Wars kids are the cool kids, and they're like, yeah, get on the Star Trek guys. Oh yeah, I hope to see that, by the way.
Yeah, I believe she is coming back for season 2.
Yeah, he went on The View and he was like, I would love for you to come back on the show. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, oh, great.
Nice.
I mean, separate the art from the artist. I love Whoopi Goldberg. Okay. So, I love her portrayal as Guinan.
Oh yeah. It's probably that and Sister Act are like my two favorite.
Yeah. I mean, she was Star Trek Generations. I mean, she made that movie work.
Yes.
So it had, I mean, granted, it had, they really shoehorned in William Shatner in that movie, and you could tell William
Shatner making eggs.
Yeah. He's just like, whatever. Captain Picard making eggs. Here, hold this hot pan.
Right. Give me Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, no, I guess those were his horses, and he rented them out to the production.
Like, really?
Yeah, William Shatner's like, no, we could ride my horses, and I'm going to charge you for it. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
So we're going to get into that just a minute, Silas, Scotty. But yeah, I'm just establishing like the Star Trek cred because I get a lot of like sometimes people don't, because they see all my Star Wars stuff, and so they don't look at me as a Star Trek guy. And so like I want to establish here that like I am a multi-opportunity nerd. All right, well, I know something
the master of none.
Right. but see, like I work hard to know like I guess maybe like I try to be the master of all, because like I try to know as much as I can, because like I'm the kid who paid attention to all the stuff, like where everybody else is like, what was that Star Trek movie where they had the whales in it, which one was that? And I'm like, boom 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 boom, here you go, baby, there's what they did, there's nuclear vessels in it, there's, you know, I mean, you know, it's like the whole 9 yards, man. It's like, you know, they're in the park, you know, like, yeah, you know, Spock's out there swimming with them and stuff, Gracie's pregnant.
I think you did a little too much LDS.
Dude, I remember. I mean, I never read the book, but what was the book called? Was it called Sphere? That came out after Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, that like told the story of the
no, I never. I actually that's some of the extended material I never read was
I think there was a book called, I think it was called Sphere, because it told the story of whatever that probe was that came from space in part, because they never explained it in canon. They never. Two things that they've never really explained, like in actual like TV show or movie canon, that I'm really surprised. And if they did, I never heard it.
Where did the probe come from?
Where did the probe come from that came in Star Trek 4?
Yeah.
But this, I guess this book explained it. So if any of you ever read Sphere, let me know, because I would really, because I never read it. I just knew that was what explained it, of like why that it would come back to Earth like every few 100 years or whatever, and maybe I think it's like every 500 or 1,000 years or something like that. Like it would come back and it would communicate with the whales, and then it would take off. Like it was just like a hey, how's it going? And they were off, you know. And then the other thing is, and I always felt that this was kind of, and yes, we are going to talk about Lower Decks, but I always felt that this was kind of also a kind of a thing that a missed opportunity, was they never explained the actual race, did they, of machines that Voyager encountered.
No, that's
came back as V'ger.
Yeah, the machine planet. They never really, because I remember having like the Star Trek chronology, the book and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that gave it, you know, a date to date update of what was going on. The weird stuff is what takes place in between, you know, 1990 whatever, when it came out, and then, you know, at least to the original series, because there hadn't been any, you know, canon material at that time. Enterprise wasn't out, anything like that. So filling in the gaps was one thing, but supposedly it went to a machine planet. I've seen some stuff that it was tied to the Borg, but I think that was in like a video game or something like that.
See, that's what I always felt like. To me, it explained the Borg completely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except for the fact that if the Borg had gotten that information, they would have already known about us. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
unless Q introducing them in the second season.
Exactly. Unless it was like an early representation of the Borg, like before maybe the Borg, you know, evolved, like, or something. Yeah,
the machine element that hadn't yet merged with the man, but when Decker goes and merges with Ilea, then, you know, voila, we have.
Yeah, that would have been creation. That would have been something very interesting. It's like, and we don't really know what happened there. That ending is so weird.
It was
Star Trek the movie.
The oddest movies.
We could do a whole episode about Star Trek the movie and just how weird it is.
Yeah, the motion picture. I mean, don't get me wrong. The soundtrack by Jerry Goldsmith was.
Oh yeah, the visual
point. The just the space dock scene alone, where I mean, yeah, great.
Well, the space dock scene is what, 20 minutes?
But it's 20 minutes of the best looking ILM thing you'll ever see in your life, because that's fresh off of Star Wars right there.
Yeah, you know? Well, you know, you are true. You are right, but like a lot of Star Trek the motion picture is basically the crew looking out the view.
Oh yeah. Well, all that artwork was Ralph McQuarrie, actually.
Oh my gosh, there's a Star Trek reference for you guys. Some Ralph McQuarrie. Cylon says, really glad to see you back on, Brian. There you go.
Good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah. So there you go. So, so there you go, guys. You know, Star Trek has been a part of my life. I know Star Trek has been a part of your life, Brian, and you seem to be the Star Trek guy in our group. So
I like to paint myself in that little corner. It works.
So there's a little background, folks, about how, like, a little bit of both of us, how we love. I would love, man. This last thing I'll say about this. I would just love to see some more of the Q.
I hope they bring back John Delancey in the next episode.
Oh my gosh.
In the next season. I mean, I swear it'd just be so much fun. I mean, that is Picard's tormentor, is Q.
Yes.
So it's like just the episode Tapestry. I watched that one over and over and over again. That's the one where, you know, he sends him back into time to redo his mistakes after the academy. And is there a Jean Luc Picard delivering flowers? And I mean, just that Q in that episode, any of those episodes. You know, he made that film Bronies.
Did he?
Yeah, he directed the documentary. When I went to the Star Trek convention in 2012, he showed a trailer for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's really cool, man. He did a bunch of stuff in like a bunch of acting in soap operas and stuff before.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting. Hey, real quick, I gotta tell Bruce. Hey, Bruce. So where's it? It keeps moving. Okay. Bruce says, that's Bruce, by the way, Jenner Custom Toys. He says, I like this Brian dude, and I don't like many people. So there you go.
Cool.
So, and this is what reminded me of it, because Bruce makes toys. He makes custom toys, and he does Carl from Sling Blade, and he puts out videos as Carl of Sling Blade. Does it really, really well. But you know, Bruce, I just wanted to tell you real quick, because Tiffany saw how he took the Cantina toy from back in the day, and he turned it into the ballroom, or the bar actually of from oh, now I'm gonna have a brain fart right here on the air for this movie, The Shining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, complete with bartender and everything. And so Tiffany, you know, like when she notices a toy, like, because she's into toys, but like when she notices a toy, like she showed it to me. She's like, you got to see what Bruce made. She loves The Shining. Shining is one of her favorite movies. So Bruce, you did something good. I always like to tell Bruce when I dig what he does and stuff, and he'll ask me what I think about different things. So I haven't had a chance to tell him. So Bruce, you done good enough that the wife said something and was like, heck yeah, Bruce did good. So what's up, DCE Talk with Extended? Good to see you, man. Good to see you here. Yeah. So like I said, it's been Nick Hammond says, hey Nash, hey Brian, one question. What the heck are you wearing? It's Star Trek talk, baby. Yeah. It's Star Trek talk.
Next generation era movies, man.
Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, and then there was another one that I wanted to here just before we move on.
I see the question though, Shatner or Pine? Shatner, 100%. I mean, I do love Chris Pine. Don't get me wrong, and he's awesome as Steve Trevor, and I'm really glad to see him come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. Into Darkness was a crime on cinema, so I can't.
Yeah, no,
I can't get behind that.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, I gotta go Shatner. I mean, Shatner's classic, guys. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You know,
no. Honestly, if it wasn't for Shatner, I doubt the show would have got the legs. Because if they'd have kept Christopher Pike in the show, which they had to recast because of that, so it was, you know, I get it.
Yeah. Well, somebody said, and I can't find the thing now. I apologize. I'm looking for the comment. But somebody had said that you and I clean up well, and so I was just gonna. I was trying to pull that up, but I can't find it now.
Yeah, normally I'm Max, as I'm just like wearing my t-shirt, my undershirt from work that day. Like, yeah, Zebra's got those nice shirts, and I'm just like, this is a Hanes undershirt. Got it in a 5-pack.
Yeah.
If I stood up, my gut would hang out a little bit.
There you go. But yeah, so you know, so I know that because I mean, obviously, we're going to be talking a whole lot more about about DC stuff, you know, this week and everything, I'm sure. But I really oh, see, now Tiffany must have got it wrong. He says the bar is a remake of the Real Western Cafe. Sorry, but nothing to do with The Shining. She thought it was The Shining. So there you go. Well, I won't be the one to tell her that she's wrong. How about you tell her that she's wrong, Bruce? Or maybe you got some inspiration now for another. Jeff says, I'm trying to decide who my captain is between you two. And yes, Mr. Horror Junkie, I am a huge Star Trek fan, and that's what we've taken the first half hour of this show to do, is establish our credit, because we knew we were going to get into a discussion and have some fun, because we always do here on the channel. And so, Shatner all the way. And now I will say this, man, they did a really good job casting. What's his name is?
Well, I love the cast of the 2009 Star Trek, the Kelvin
Absolutely.
Star Trek. I mean, all of them. I mean, Zach Quinto is Leonard.
That's what I'm saying. Zach Quinto,
yeah,
is like the reincarnation of Leonard Nimoy.
Well, he's even doing like In Search Of,
right?
I think
saw
it's
that.
awesome. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Thank you. Like
that would bring back my childhood.
Well, him and Adam Nimoy, I think, are like really good friends. That's Leonard's son, I think.
Yes.
They did a documentary, and Zach was really played a good part in that. I love Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy.
Yes.
And
see, now I did not, and I hate to say this because I know he's passed away, but
Anton Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin, I did not enjoy him as Chekhov. I just did not feel. I felt like everybody else at least made sense and seemed to bring about a little bit of the. I mean, like. Mm-hmm. Like Pine wasn't doing
Simon Pegg though is Scotty.
Oh my gosh, Simon Pegg is Scotty. Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy. Every once in a while, he would say something and just give a look, and you're like,
DeForest Kelly.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, Zachary Quinto was just dead on for the whole thing. And then, Chris Pine's not trying to do a Shatner impersonation, but he works as Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Right? He's got that attitude. But what's her name is Ahura, like, was fine, but man, it just I just could not get with him as that. But anyways, so Cylon Scotty, he if Max has producers that tell him to move it along, Cylon Scotty is one of my producers, tells me, hey, come on, let's move it along, Enash. Let's get to the topic at hand, because we could talk about nerd stuff all night long. All right, true. So here we go. So this, all these new programs from CBS, some of them hits, some of them miss, a lot of them they're just basically all dividing is what they've been so far.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of Discovery?
I didn't hate it. I was influenced improperly for the first season, and then I watched the second season on YouTube, the first episode, and I liked it quite a bit. Okay. It wasn't horrible.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest. So I'm going to be fully transparent when it comes to that. I have not watched. Well, I take it back. I watched like the first episode of Discovery because when I heard Picard was coming out, I got CBS Max, or is it CBS All Access? Yeah, I got the 30-day All Access thing and watched it. And I watched all of that. And then I watched one episode of Discovery because I thought, well, I'll take this opportunity to watch some Discovery too.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get into it.
Like I said, it did the same thing for me. The first season was really difficult. I was doing other things and had it on in the background. So at that point, it was kind of background noise. But the second season, I stopped what I was doing and I started watching. And it was much better. And I think season 3 coming up here in a month or two is gonna take us. It's gonna take us somewhere. I think the dream of seeing Trek how it used to be. I mean, I think you're just gonna have to let it go. I mean, unless they, it'll give an opportunity for them to surprise us later on down the road. But I remain positive about a lot of the stuff that's coming out right now because, most people are negative on it. I mean, that's basically what created a lot of the fandom menace that we know of today. Like I found Doomcock through Discovery videos.
Really?
Yes.
That's wild. That's wild.
And that was before The Last Jedi.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like I was in that group before it was the fandom menace.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense. That makes more sense. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Horror Junkie. I am right there with you, man. I was not a big fan of Star Trek Beyond either. In fact, I will say I like Into Darkness better than I like Beyond. Beyond just feels like a really big episode that like doesn't really hit for me.
And
It
then they
doesn't really
like
hit for
pointed
me.
out like 3 or 4 times.
At least with the second one, Within the Darkness, like there was some familiarity, even though I was ticked off at some of the choices that they used and that they gave stuff to Kirk that Kirk didn't need, and they took it away from Spock, and they messed up with the timeline, and they anyways, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other episode.
Yeah, we
But
can go into that one.
yeah, but I'm right there with you. So, but a lot of support here, it seems like, for Discovery season 2.
Yeah, like I said, it gets better. It really does. And not only that, but Anson Mount, the guy that plays Christopher Pike.
Just real quick, maybe, depending upon what we do here. So,
But yeah, so I mean, as far as most of that goes, I can't complain.
yeah. So there's that. Now they got a new series that's going to be coming out, right? That's like Captain Pike and Spock and everybody.
Strange New Worlds. And they're going to use Rebecca Romaine as number 1. I mean, she was really good. I like I said, I have nothing bad to say about the second season of Discovery.
Yeah. So there you go.
And Picard was good too. So I mean,
what's that?
I liked Picard as well. I mean,
I liked Picard too. I thought towards the end of this first season, it started to get a little slow for me. It was I don't know. I was there at the beginning and I was like, yeah. And then like as the season went on, I was kind of like doing other things kind of too while I was watching it. And
well, I'm a nostalgia junkie. Like,
oh heck yeah, me too.
First and foremost, and that show, the first few episodes was just.
Oh yeah, heck yeah!
Give me more. It's all just.
And I didn't see all the stuff that other people saw in it, the negativity and trying to act like, like the only thing that I don't understand about this new era of Star Trek is like this infatuation with trying to make everybody drop F-bombs and like, and swear all the time besides the, occasional this or that, like, because that was never part of Star Trek. You know what I mean? And I get it that it was the reasons why is because they were all PG movies and it was a TV
they were on
show
TV and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I get that, but it just sounds weird to me to hear like a high ranking Starfleet
admirals use the F word.
Admiral drop an F-bomb. Is that just me? And it's not because I'm some prude. I just
look.
I love Deadpool, man. I want all the F-bombs I can get out of Deadpool. But
okay, if Starfleet is supposed to be a military, that is a breach of decorum.
Yeah,
you can't be. I'm sure. Like when things aren't serious, you've got your higher ups that are swearing and stuff, but it's never in front of subordinates.
Oh, you hush your mouth. You hush your mouth right now. Scott Bakula is a saint and a national treasure, sir.
Did you see that the movie that William Shatner's made some really good documentaries about Star Trek?
Yes,
but, The Captains.
Yes, I did see that. Oh my gosh, when he talks to Scott Bakula, it's amazing. That's like the best episode. How is that the best episode, dude? I don't know, but yeah. So it looks like a lot of. Oh well, come on, Andrew. Really? I mean, I love Star Trek. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I live Star Wars. Let's not fool ourselves here. I mean, like I'm very much out. Yeah, I mean, look at there. Look at it. Look, see?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It's Star Wars. Let's just put it this way: if
I got mine right here too.
If Star Wars hadn't been a thing, Star Trek would have been a TV show that we remembered from the 60s.
Yep. No, it's absolutely true. If it wasn't for you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right.
Because the movies saved Star Trek.
After this live stream is done, hopefully I'm going to do my review finally of this puppy right here, because this is my latest one. And dude, they just announced that Emperor Palpatine's is coming out in November.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got to pre-order that one still yet, but yeah, dude. So I've been waiting for this sucker for like so long, and I think the blade may be detachable. I'm not sure because I'm not. Anyways, that's another story. So,
yeah.
So that's the setup for the show coming out now, and that of course is this cartoon, and I think it's because they're trying to do some different things. You know what I mean? They're trying to. I think they're trying some different things with the show, or with the with the franchise, right? And so I just know that when this got announced, people were already hating on it.
Oh, of course. I mean, and not only that, but everything they've put out since Discovery, it's already got that veneer of hate to it. So it's like,
yeah. So here we go talking about Lower Decks, and Cylon Scotty is going to say it. One eternity later.
Well, jump right in. I mean,
yes, let's jump right in. So what were your first thoughts of the show?
Loved the levity. It was very light in tone, especially since Picard was so serious, Discovery was so serious, and people who are negative towards it are equal levels serious about what they want to see. It basically just took a hammer to it 5 seconds into the first episode. So for that, I love it and I thank it. And I think going forward, if we can continue something like this, I think it can open up Star Trek to a wider audience, which I'm always down for. And I think that it's always been something that upsets the hardcore Trek fans.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're taking it. No, they're just adding explosions and action to your show is not doing that. It's making it to where normal people can watch it and go, hey, that wasn't that bad.
Yes. Opening it up to new heights. Man, I gotta go. That's a hard one. That's a real hard one, especially because I just rediscovered things about Attack of the Clones that I really love now. A couple years ago, I would have just flat out said Attack of the Clones, even though because Star Trek V is not that horrible to me.
No, it's actually pretty good. I would have said like Insurrection or something like that.
Insurrection's awful.
Yeah, I'd have been like Attack of the Clones all day, man.
Insurrection is like
I'd take sand over face stretching.
Oh my gosh, that's just an uncomfortable movie to look at. Anyways, but so here's the deal. I finally saw the show because I found a way to see the show, and I watched all 3 episodes that are out so far, and I'll be honest with you, man, I really liked it. Like, I was expecting to hate it. I was really expecting from everything that everybody had said. But, you know, Brian, I think I'm realizing now more and more, I'm just the guy who loves everything that everybody hates.
Yeah.
And I seem to be okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't mind.
I think I'm okay with that. Like, I had a bunch of people, like, I had one guy, and I hope people see that. Like, I'm all for everybody else's opinions, like really, but like I thought it was hilarious because I literally had somebody tell me like, and I have no idea who the person is, that I've never seen them like comment before, so I don't know if they were a real subscriber or not. I mean, so if somebody's engaged with the channel, they're engaged with the channel. But apparently they got really mad over our DC coverage on Sunday night or on Saturday night. Because they didn't like anything that Zod Rider had to say about Batman. The Batman
going off about it.
Yeah, and so like this person got so upset that like they said that they couldn't stand the panel, they couldn't stand any of the hatred. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said I loved it. Like,
yeah,
like what are you talking about? Like I said, it was great and I loved it. It's my channel. It's not everybody else's channel. Like, for goodness sake, don't punish me. And they're like,
yeah, both of us were to the moon when we saw that. It was
it's like, and they're like, I'm gonna unsubscribe. I'm like, well, that's not fair. Whatever.
Yeah. All right.
But that's the thing, is like, I've just kind of realized now, though, that I apparently like stuff that everybody else hates.
Hey, I've always been like that.
And I don't know. I don't apologize for it, but it is what it is. But here's the thing. Yeah. So I went into it. But what I liked about it is, okay, look, I get it. If you're a diehard Trek fan and you're just like, everything must be canon and everything, like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
But here's the deal. It's fun. It's lighthearted, but yet it throws some serious moments in there and some callbacks to, oh my gosh, like callbacks to the stuff that we love. You know, I mean, it's got callbacks to Kirk and the original, you know, series, and it's got throwbacks to Next Generation. And I'll be honest with you, I gotta rewatch, because I was watching episode 3, and Tiffany came down and sat next to me for a few minutes, and I got distracted because our dog was doing some stuff like that. So episode 3, but I know in the first 2 episodes alone, there were 2 Star Wars references. Okay, that I picked up right away, and I was just like, I okay, yeah, all right. Is that how this is going to be right here? I see what they're doing right here. This is nice, and I just like it because it takes it felt like it took things that we as fans joke about sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like like the Klingon that they have to transport the Klingon was
Captain or General Corinne.
yeah, and it's like they got to transport him and stuff, and yet he acts he steals the shuttlecraft
Gets
that goes
drunk and
off.
steals their shuttlecraft.
And it's like, how many of us have joked about Klingons and and their culture and the things that they do and I'll be honest with you, the Next Generation, especially towards the end, the first couple of years of Next Generation was super serious and like they were taking themselves uber serious on everything, but it found a personality about halfway through, and then that personality really shined, and that's really what everybody remembers about the show. Really, I gotta say, they remember the stories from the first couple seasons, that set it all up, but but that heart of the show that makes us all think fondly of that show so much is a lot of that heart that was in their last couple seasons of there. Hey, what's up? Uh-oh cred revoked.
What?
But yet it's a super chat, so I'll take it all day long. Yeah, woo! What's up,
I saw Max in there too.
Hey, Max is in here, huh? Max is in here. Yep, he says, all right, I need to get okay. Well, Max, you know what? We'll touch base offline. We'll touch base offline, and I'll talk to you about it. Because anyways. So the thing is I saw it and it reminded me about these funny little things in there. Whoops, I want to get up there. Yes, thank you once again, Cylon. Appreciate you, man. You're so awesome. I love Cylon and Sophie, not Phoebe. Phoebe. I don't even know where that came from before. That was funny. But you know what it really took me back to, though, honestly, and I realized it filled a void for me, is I miss the Orville so much.
Yeah, I'd say if you like the Orville, at least give this a shot.
Yes,
because it's the Orville with the Star Trek name.
Yes,
in essence, I mean,
with Star Trek, with real Star Trek references.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not illusions, but actual.
Right? Yeah, I mean, because I love the Orville. And we used to do watch parties for the Orville when it was on, and when it comes back, it's going to be harder to do because it's not going to be on network broadcast. It's going to be on Hulu. But I mean, when it does come back on, we're going to go back to doing our watch parties. We'll have to sync them up with everybody. It won't be as much as I doubt we'd probably get as many people watching as we did when it was on broadcast. But honestly, Brian, we got a lot of people into the Orville who didn't even watch the Orville.
Give it another shake. The first couple episodes, I with all the shows that I was trying to watch, it just kind of fell out of the rotation for me. So I have to go back and check it out.
Yeah, and so that just oh, hey, what's up, man? Here we go, right here. Batak, talk, a knock. What's up? Thank you so much.
Speaking the Klingon.
Oh, ha, all right. But yeah, so I love Orville. Orville, to me, Orville is like some of the best TV that's been on in a couple of decades. I mean, just the Star Trek stuff, it's because it's reminiscent of the Next Generation. And I remember when I first saw it, I thought that it was just going to be, Next Generation 2.0, right? Because I know that Seth MacFarlane is a big Star Trek Next Generation
not only that, but one of the showrunners is Brandon Braga.
Yeah.
Like Star Trek royalty at that point,
But dude, the comedy that's in there, that it's like you can go from this like really serious moment to all of a sudden like a penis joke or something. Like, and it's like, but it works, and it feels like real people at work, right? Like that they're at work, like even though they work on a starship.
And that's what I like about the Lower Decks. It's like that's what it's like. I mean,
that's what it feels like.
Most of those shows focus solely on the bridge crew, and sometimes send that ensign over there to go clean a Jeffries tube because it still has to get done.
Yep. And
so that's why I love this show. It's like being that kind of a worker most of my life, it's like, yeah, I can get it.
Yeah, showing what goes on and actually kind of poking a little bit of fun at the like inner circle of that. That's what I like about this actually. And I realize it more and more is that, like, one, I love the comedy because the comedy is along the same veins as Rick and Morty, like, some of these new shows. It's not crazy insano.
Yeah, it's not zany humor. It's
Yeah.
I love the references. It's reference humor.
I was wearing a mask earlier, because I got to, because you got to wear a mask out everywhere. And it's like, I got these hairs that are like trying to like, they're driving me nuts. It's like, I feel like I can't, I feel like I'm not getting it because it's like a microscopic hair that's like sitting like right here on my nostril. And it's like, where is it? All right.
I know the feeling.
Enough of that. I'm going to watch this video back and it's just me going, I love it. I love the show. It's great. The show is wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great. It's a great show.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like, so watching this, it reminded me of the Orville, like all the good parts of the Orville. And like, I just didn't take it too seriously. I wasn't trying to say, well, this is my Star Trek now. This is just, it was like, this is kind of funny. And the setup that they do for the one girl, the main female protagonist, Mariner. Yeah. And I mean, that's how new it is to me. I just literally watched all 3 episodes tonight. Right. So it's fresh for me, guys.
I kept messing up Boimler's name the first couple times.
Well, it seems like everybody does in the show. So, but the thing is like, you set her up, and I'm not going to give it away for those of you who obviously need to still see the show, but who they set her up to be. Yeah. I was like, I saw it coming. I was like, oh, and then I was like,
sense.
Oh, that's smart. That is so smart. Oh, I love that. And then I love the fact that what's his name again?
Oh, Boimler.
Boimler.
Brandon Boimler.
Boimler. Yeah, Brandon Boimler. So I love the fact that Boimler is he's the straight man.
Yeah,
right?
He's the go-getter. He's the,
Yes. And he wants everything to be perfect. He's like all the Star Trek fans that would have a problem with this Star Trek.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Yes. It's like that's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, he's the menace Star Trek fans.
What's up, Protoss X?
What's going on?
Is it Protoss X? I think is that how that's pronounced. I hope I got it right. What's up? Good to see you. What's up, Goober?
Heck yeah.
What's up, Space Ninja? Okay, so he says Lower Decks feels like somebody's project of love. They put a lot of thought and work into making it, and that's how I kind of felt too. Like it's done so well. The ship looks great.
Well, I look at it like a love letter to Star Trek and Star Trek fans, and I think right now that's the biggest olive branch that CBS Paramount could give out to the fans after the merger. So I think hopefully it kind of chills a lot of people out. I mean, I think even I was looking through. I didn't watch the video, but it looked like Doomcock was warming up to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know he hated it.
I know. He said that this is the best Kurtzman Trek.
After
his thumbnail. I didn't want to watch the video because I didn't know, but I was
after his hatred of it.
Yes. That's why I'm like, is everything okay outside? Is the sky still there?
It's like a lot of things, Brian. You got to give it a couple episodes. People watch the first episode of something and they're like, this is awful. It's horrible.
It's trash. Like,
go back and watch the first episode of most of the shows that you love. And then you tell me how great that first episode is compared to what the show becomes.
Oh, absolutely. And I thought it was one of the better pilot shows out of the Star Treks.
I thought this one was too.
Because I mean, aside from Emissary was probably my favorite for Deep Space Nine, but Encounter at Farpoint.
Well, that's a great show. Or that no. So I will say, no, let me take that back. I was not a fan of Deep Space Nine as a show, but the way that they broke into Deep Space Nine, that's the best handoff. Look, if that show failed, it was all on that show. Yeah. Because you couldn't get a better send off into a series than what they did, going from Generation, passing it off to Deep Space Nine as that first, spin-off type of show. I mean, because it was the middle of that whole war and the Locutus thing. And I mean, my gosh, you could not have asked for a better pass off. But then the show just and I watched it. I watched a few weeks and then I was just like, because I was a kid too.
It fell into the same thing where the first 2 seasons, but the season 3, when they introduced the Dominion, is when everything started to change. Because the Dominion started infiltrating everything.
Yeah. Well, see, and to me, it was like instead of having a ship where they could go places, it was like, well, everything comes right to them.
Well, and they got that ship in the 3rd season.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. And so, but it took getting a ship.
Yeah.
Right? But I do remember the episode that they moved the entire space station like 5 feet. Like
that was the pilot where they moved the.
Was that the pilot?
They moved it to the mouth of the wormhole because it was orbiting the planet of Bajor, and then they moved it. It wasn't 50 feet. It was actually quite a ways.
Wasn't there one though where like something was coming towards them, was going to hit them?
There might have been, and
they like had to move it was like a big debate, like how they were going to move it or something like that, and
they lowered the inertial mass of the station to move it.
I might be remembering it weird because I was a kid, so it just always seemed kind of strange to me. But yeah, man, like look, I get it. There's people who absolutely love that show. And I think that there was a lot of really good episodes of that show, for sure.
It was the best Next Generation era Trek. I'm sorry, I liked it more than Next Generation.
I dig. Really, you loved it more than Next Generation?
Yes, because the Dominion War, and a lot of people say the Dominion War is what really took the wind out of the sails of Berman Trek, because that's why Voyager fell flat on its face, because that had to follow that up. And I'm sorry, the Borg are cool and everything, but Voyager just overused them.
Yeah.
But the Dominion, all the different levels, the humanity it showed, the fact that if you take away human comfort, we devolve as well. Like there's a real good episode where they're fighting the Klingons, and not the Klingons, but the Dominion, and Nog, Quark's nephew, gets hurt, and they deal with PTSD and stuff like that. But there's a line in that episode where it said, if you take away these, this is a Ferengi talking. Odo was amazing. He was the best. Shapeshifters, man, love it. But anyways, he said if you take away
lots of Deep Space Nine love here.
Yeah, honestly, it was one of the best. I mean, watch it on the cool thing is a lot of the people that were still in it, they're still doing it. Alexander Siddig, the guy who played the Doctor, he has a channel on YouTube, and they do Zoom calls with the actors that were on the show, and they play their parts and they say their lines.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I think it's called Sid City Productions or something like that. But it's really cool. I saw that and was like, wow, that's Andrew Robinson, the guy who played Garrick, and Nana Visitor, the girl who played Kira Nerys. I was just like, wow, this is insane.
Yes. Welcome, Couple Malik. Yes. You are here at the Poindexter Starbase.
Oh man, I wish I had a real holodeck. I mean, let's be real for a second.
Oh my gosh.
Whew. I never leave the damn thing.
Never. We'd never get anything done.
Nope.
And nobody would ever have a real relationship again.
Nope. It'd be like Wall-E, but you could walk around.
Right. You could, like, that was the great part. You never find the wall, right? Like you never find the wall of the holodeck. But but yeah, I just I like the tone of this show. Mm-hmm. I like the humor of the show. I like the characters of the show. I loved how who's the cyborg guy? Rutherford. I loved how like he had a date with this girl who was like super into him, and like you would normally think that like he would like
he would return the favor.
especially when she talked about how her dad was a cyborg because he didn't think they were gonna have anything in common, and you were like rooting for him, and then it was like, yeah, she kisses him, and you're like, yeah.
You were hitting it off the whole time, and it's just like
right
at the end of the time, it's just like, oh, that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, well. And she's like totally not into like fixing or repairing anything. So he's or like the schematics of the ship or anything. And so he's just totally like, yeah. No. But then the alien girl, I can't remember her name. I got to remember these names now because like I said,
she's an Orion. Her name is Tendi.
Tendi. so Tendi then comes up and like she's got all those qualities, and it's like you can see where that might go a little bit.
Well, in the next episode, he tries to free up his schedule, so he tries different jobs on the ship.
Oh, that was great.
So funny. Oh my gosh, where he does security.
Oh my gosh, because he's a cyborg, he can beat up everybody and stuff.
Yeah.
And you know,
he's like, I don't know how to fight. I don't know how to fight, but he taps his thing and it's like, okay.
But he takes everybody out. But that's the thing is like I love it that he tries, command, he tries, a little bit of everything and can't do it, and he ends up going right back to what he loves. But like they just find this piece together in the in
the turbo lift where the conduit where they're trying to do stuff. She's watching the thing, he's over there working. No, I like it a lot. That one of the things that they did in the third episode, the trope of the club fist.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
He even said it. He's all double fist punch. I was like, I was dying when I saw that. It made me laugh so hard because that's Star Trek fighting.
There you go, Jenner. We know. Now, but see, I never see. Okay, and maybe this is just me. Like, she was never my thing, man. Like,
I was more of a Dax person.
I don't know. I don't know. She wasn't really my. I know a lot of people thought. I mean, obviously,
well, of course. I mean,
she's a beautiful
she
woman.
brought ratings to that show. Trust me.
Oh yeah, obviously she's a beautiful woman, and I did like the idea of what she was in the show. But yeah, anyways, but back to the show. So I don't want to give too much away. But like Brian, what do you think, man? What do you think maybe of us like doing a recap show every week?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, so like I know I'm late to the game and we're like 3 episodes in now, but it comes out on Thursdays, right?
Thursdays, yeah.
So like I man, if you're up for it, man, I would love to do a recap show and actually talk about it. We'll do spoilers to actually talk about the actual show, because I know there's a lot of people in here who haven't seen it. If you're looking to see it, hit me up on social media, guys, and let's talk about that. Like, because I'd love for you to see it. And I mean, obviously, you can get CBS Access, all access, right? You want to go to get CBS Access and make sure that you see the show.
I mean, well, here's a plus for CBS All Access. Since they merged with Paramount, the content on there, oh my gosh,
it has gone way up.
Oh, I just watched So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Wow.
That is the quintessential 90s movie. I'm sorry. Or Mike Myers 90s movie. It had the slam poetry, the
oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Harriet.
Man, it's been forever since I've seen that movie, but I remember.
Yeah, I watched it. It's all smiles, man. I love that movie so much.
I love this. I love this right here that that this has woken up a lot of memories about Star Trek in a lot of people.
Star Trek is awesome, and that's what's so great about it. I mean, it's one of those things that if you dust off that coding, because it's been a while since the Berman days, but if you dust off a little bit of that stuff, which is all on Netflix, and give it a rock, man. Go back through and watch Deep Space Nine. It's a great
What's up, Jack?
show.
What's up, Jack? Good to see you, man. But yeah, so I will say this. What did you I'm just curious, like how it ended, the third episode, right? Because the third episode was a really good episode. Like,
just top to bottom, it was great. I loved every minute of it.
But obviously, oh my gosh, I gotta remember. I gotta remember. The first officer is hilarious.
Oh, that's Jerry O'Connell, by the way.
That's Jerry O'Connell. That is fantastic.
Yeah, I was like looking at the cast before we started, and I'm like, I love Jerry O'Connell, and
that's just fantastic.
Commander Ransom.
Commander Ransom. That is, oh my gosh.
I'm gonna try to use peace to get us out of here. I don't want to blow it.
When he tries to monologue his way out of the jail. Oh my god.
Try to write a speech. I'm just like, oh no.
But then there's a moment. So like, it's weird because we got kind of a little bit of a romance thing starting over here with a couple of the characters.
That's right.
But then we everybody always thinks that like the two main protagonists, eventually, especially if it's a male and a female, that those are going to be the two that get together, right? And
there was so much tension, and then it's just like,
then what did they just do there?
Yeah, they almost did, and then he's like, put her in the.
Well, that what I'm saying though is that like for the first 2 episodes, we kind of felt like her and well, I swear to God, I'm gonna have to like watch this stuff again to be able to make sure that I get these names right.
Oh, yeah, there you could see the chemistry between her and Boimler, but I'm starting to think he might get friend zoned.
I'm starting to think so too. Now there's another good show right there. Oh, Space Ninja brought it up first.
Yes,
very good show.
Jerry O'Connell was in Stand By Me with Will Wheaton.
Sliders. Everybody's gonna start in with I love Sliders. I love that show. Resistance to this channel is futile. That's right. Don't even try. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Yeah, no. So like those first Binge Buddies returns.
That's right, Max. We're gonna bring her back.
But yeah, well, Star Trek didn't have bagel bites or bacon bites, I guess.
But the Replicator did.
You could get anything on the Replicator, baby. But no, so like the first 2 episodes, there was like this tension a little bit, kind of, because like it's like the Odd Couple, right? One's prim and proper, the other one's crazy and doing stuff. And you're thinking maybe there's something there. But that last episode,
she's like, "Hey,
oh, dude," and I'm like, "No."
Yeah, she got a lady boner there. It was like, interesting.
And then for a second, I'm kind of rooting for it, and then they kind of they build it, pop. And then what they do to her is hilarious. And she goes off. And I mean, that whole thing was just awesome because she doesn't turn him in. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a funny scenario. But the thing is it's like with that, I started thinking, well, maybe they're going to introduce somebody else at some point for him, for our main character. What's his name?
Brad Boimler.
Yeah. Brad. So maybe they're going to introduce another character at some point down the line for him, and maybe put those, because if she ends up with the first officer, with the other things that are with the other connections that she has to the ship,
chain of command a little bit.
Whoa, that's going to be. Yeah.
Well, there's another funny part at the end there too, where they talk about how the buffer time.
The buffer time is great, guys. So we will talk about that if you haven't seen it. So I love it because that is a direct callback to Scotty
Relics.
Yes, which is one of my favorite episodes of Next Generation, when they find Scotty on the Dyson sphere, just hanging out in the transporter loop. Right. And that is a call. That is something that I talk to people all the time, who don't even know that. And I'm like, no. Scotty was awesome because Scotty references it. Because Geordi gets asked by Picard, how long it's going to take him to do something or another. And he's like, it's going to take me 4 hours. And he's like, okay, thanks, Geordi. And then Scotty leans in and goes, how long is it really going to take you? And he's like, 4 hours. He's like, oh, blasted. Don't they teach you anything around here? It's like
you got to add on to the time. That way you get it done earlier. They think you're a miracle worker.
Like if it's going to take you 4 hours, you tell them it's going to take him 12. It's like that way when you get it done in the 4 hours, you look like a miracle worker. And it's like, it's just that line
summed up the whole episode. It was just like, oh my God.
Scotty's got the direct quote. I love it. He's like, then say 8. You double it, right? Just at least double it, because it's just so awesome. Because it explains so much about Scotty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that's the thing people don't understand about Star Trek, man. Star Trek is filled with humor. If you take the humor out of Star Trek, you're missing the point, because it's about people. It's about humans. It's, even though it's in space and it's about aliens and all this stuff, it's about the human nature. It's about the connection that we all have to each other. It's this utopian society in the future, yet it's amazing because everything's not perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I love it because
what I like about it.
Because they call back with the episode, because basically everybody has built in buffer time on the ship so that they can get their stuff done, but yet still be able to chill and relax and stuff between that. But then But then when the captain finds out that there's such thing as buffer time, she eliminates buffer time.
Stop to it.
And does what like everybody dreads that somebody's going to do at their work, right? Put a stopwatch basically on every task that you do that you have to, check in every time you start a task, get a task done and everything. And like it sends everybody, even the captain can't meet up to those
everyone's
standards.
freaking out on it.
And what's hilarious is the guy to get him to turn back is the one guy who can keep up with all of it.
Who enjoyed it because Boimler's running around. Oh, this is the best day of my life.
Right. He's getting all of his tasks done and everything, and it's fine. And oh my gosh, but then he ends up being the one to convince the captain because everybody's like losing it, and they all look strung out and stuff. And so they named the effect of
Boimler effect.
Yes, they named the effect of having buffer time after him, and he's like, and somebody tries to make him feel better by saying, "Well, it's not. Don't worry about it. It's not like they make all these rules and these because they give him a plaque and they're like, this is your rule now, stuff. It's his rule, and he hates it because like he's like the tidy guy on the Odd Couple. He hates the idea of people being lazy at all, and then it shows the future. I love it. It shows the future, and they're like teaching kids in a classroom about the Boimler effect, and
he's got the Great Bird of the Galaxy perched on his shoulder. I'm like, oh my god, that was a Gene Roddenberry reference. You guys are geniuses. And then the next thing they say was the best. The most important person in the history of the galaxy.
Like that, we're talking about him, but now we're going to move on from the Boimler effect, and now talk about the most important person in the galaxy, who is
Chief Miles Edward O'Brien. And I had to say, I totally agree because he wasn't enlisted. He was an enlisted man. He wasn't an officer. He was a transporter chief on the best ship in the quadrant. Mm-hmm. Had one of the best histories. Mr. Fix-It on Deep Space Nine and the Defiant. Miles Edward O'Brien is the man.
Man, what a great ending to that episode, dude. Like, and that's things so like, if you know your Star Trek, you're going to enjoy this show because that's so, if you don't take it too seriously, like, I love this. Scotty on the holodeck. Just the Enterprise.
No blood.
Or just Cup of Malik. Sorry. I thought that was Cylon. I had Cylon right above you. Sorry about that. I want to make sure I get the quote right to the right. No bloody A, B, C, or D. Scotty's got like some of the best lines. It was like, it's the computer. Hello, computer. You got to use the mouse. Hello, computer.
Oh, there's that part. He was kind of comic relief, especially in Star Trek V, where he breaks them out of jail and he sends them down one and he's like, I know this ship like the back of my hand.
Walks right into a pipe. Oh man!
Or when he sabotages the Excelsior in Star Trek 3. Good morning, Captain.
Oh, I love it, man. Scotty was always so great. He hates every other ship, and like he hates he hates the what was the Enterprise B? It was
it was an Excelsior class.
Excelsior. I was wanting to say Excalibur.
That bucket of bolts.
Right. He hates the Excelsior class completely.
And then Sulu ends up with the Excelsior.
Exactly. Oh, guys, Star Trek is so much fun, man. Hey, what's up, Zentech? Says, I just tuned in. Extremely ashamed to admit the first Star Trek anything I watched was the first reboot movie. Have you guys got any recommendations of where to start the series wise?
If you're watching the movies too.
Yeah, if you're going to watch the movies, this is what you do. What is the episode where Khan is introduced?
Space Seed.
Space Seed. Mm-hmm. So this is what I tell you to do. Find the episode Space Seed from the original series.
Mm-hmm.
Watch that. That'll give you a great representation of the crew, the cast. I mean, obviously people know them because it's just pop culture stuff, Spock and Kirk and stuff like that. But it'll give you a chance to see them all in that. But then it'll give you a story it's amazing that they took a story literally from an episode in the 60s and turned it into what still to this day is the greatest Star Trek movie of them all.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
It is nuts, man. Honestly, it really is. But it's also the starting point. It's like, it's really weird how they did it. Okay, so basically Harv Bennett took over as producer, and they told Gene Roddenberry they put him as like a consultant. So that's why the movies look more militaristic. They brought on Nicholas Meyer, who still has a lot to do with Star Trek nowadays too, to write and direct it, and he killed it 100%. And Ricardo Montalban came back as Mr. Rourke from Fantasy Island.
Yes, man. Ricardo Montalban actually came back, because what happens, Zentek, is you're going to see a character introduced named Noonien Singh.
Yeah, Khan Noonien Singh.
Khan Noonien Singh. That's what it is. For some reason, I wanted to make Khan his last name. Khan Noonien Singh. And so he was supposed to be this guy that was, genetically engineered in the 1990s.
Yeah, in 1996, in the far off future.
Yes, 1996. Gotta love that. But he ends up on this ship that gets frozen, and nobody knows why. But they all have kind of in hyper sleep or whatever. Cryo sleep or whatever. But they were genetically engineered to be superior beings. But he tried to take over, is what he tried to do, and nobody knew that. So the Enterprise comes upon them, and there's a whole thing there, and it if you watch that episode, then you go watch Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Yep.
Skip over 1. You're not going to really miss anything. You can go back and watch 1 later, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. It stands alone. But
yeah,
2 starts it off. Then you watch 3 because it's, Search for Spock. 4, Voyage
and
Home.
all you got to know going into Star Trek 2 is that Kirk by this point has become an admiral. He's no longer a captain. He's become an admiral, and the whole crew pretty much thinks that he's lost his touch, because he's no longer he should be on a starship. That's what he's born to do. Is they all feel that he took the wrong job in becoming an admiral. And there you go. That's what happens in Star Trek 1, besides the plot of Star Trek 1, which really doesn't connect to anything. Because if you start with Star Trek 2 goes into 3, goes into 4, goes into 5, goes into 6.
Yep.
And then you got through all the original series movies. And I once saw them, Brian. And I mean, I always knew that they kind of went together. But when the local movie theater that's actually just around the corner from my house now, when it opened originally, 2 weeks before it opened, they had a Star Trek marathon. And up to that point, it was only up to Star Trek Generations.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I went with my friend Shane, and her and I were big Star Trek fans. And 15 hours, dude, 7 movies, 15 hours. They had people dressed up and like you literally, they would get done with one movie and you had 5 minutes to get out, go pee, come back. They did take a lunch break where you had to go out, and come back at a certain time. But I think we got out, we got there bright and early at 7 or 8 in the morning or something like that. And I want to say we didn't get out till, I think, after the lunch break, and the radio station was out there and stuff. I think it was midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that.
It sounds like a lot of fun, though.
Dude, it was a lot. They gave you a certificate that said that you completed, Starfleet or whatever. And it was fun. But so we watched, Star Trek 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to Generations. And you really see, if you watch them congruently, man, they literally start right after the last one ends.
Oh yeah, those in particular, especially 2, 3, and 4, those are a trilogy. They're all 3 connected.
Yes.
5 and 6, not so much, but they still are. There's still threads that hold them together. But those 3, that's the meat and potatoes of the original series movies.
Yes.
And it does have a weird trope with the movies. Go for the even ones after that.
Yes. And then what season would you tell somebody? There you go. What season would you tell somebody to start Next Generation on? Third season. Yeah, that's right. Because it lasted 7 seasons. I would say third season too, because that's when that heart started.
Yeah,
come in. Well, and you can always go back and watch the earlier seasons after.
It's when Gene Roddenberry left the show.
Yeah.
It wasn't because he died. It was just because he was having issues and stuff during that time. So Rick Berman basically came in, stepped up, and took over. And from that point on, it was Rick Berman was the steward.
So Zentek, I will say this, that's a loaded question because technically, yes. Realistically, no.
In name only.
In name only.
No,
They screwed the pooch on that.
I know. Okay, here's the thing. I've said such bad things about Into Darkness, but it was a situational thing. Like I drove a long way to see that movie, and I was really built up for it. So kind of I got that Last Jedi disappointment. So like the whole Last Jedi thing, I did that with Into Darkness.
Oh wow.
I speculated and speculated and speculated, and that's where I learned my lesson. And JJ taught it to me. So when Star Wars finally came out, I didn't trust a thing that came out, speculation wise, until I saw the movie. So that's why I personally loved The Last Jedi, because I had already gotten
your anger out.
Well, I had already gotten my anticipation over expectations, or sorry, expectation over reality sorted out. Because you go in with high expectations, and the reality is it's not. You know what I mean? So it's,
no, I hear you, man. I hear you.
It's definitely one of those things.
But yeah, Zentek, those movies that we just mentioned there, and that episode of the original series, what was it called again? It was Space Seed, right?
Space Seed, yeah.
Space Seed with about Khan. And then those movies will give you the foundation
to watch
for everything. Yeah, to watch number 6. Like you'll get, by the time you get to 6, it'll still make sense. You don't have to watch the original series to get any of that stuff, to understand any of that stuff. It helps. I mean, but I haven't even watched all of the original series.
I've watched a few. I've cherry picked the original.
Absolutely. Series. And there's a lot of it that I've seen that I just didn't realize I've seen. Right. But if you watch those movies, it's a story that you're going to be able to follow all the way through. And then if you watch, like, if you just watch some episodes of Next Generation, man, starting in season 3, and you get a handle on that, then you can watch Generations. Generations is the 7th movie, and it's where the original series meets the Next Generation.
Yeah, kind of hands off the torch, and it's got Malcolm McDowell in it, so you can't go wrong.
And so you're gonna want to see, you're gonna want to know something about those Next Generation characters, like Captain Picard, played by
Sir Patrick
Stewart, and and who Commander Riker is, and Data, and and all those. You're gonna want to know who those people are before you watch Generations, just because it's really a pass-off movie to them. Yeah.
And then the next one for them is good old First Contact over here.
First Contact.
And, that's where they changed out to these uniforms, which are my favorite. We got the Enterprise E, which is my favorite Enterprise, by the way.
See, the Enterprise E. So okay. So here's my Star Trek cred for you, okay? Above my computer, I've got all these little ships. Well, just Star Trek ships, I should say.
I used to love the Micro Machine ones, man. That was so cool.
Yeah, that's the ones I've got. I've got them all. Yeah. I've got them all taped up to here. So I want to make sure that I get these right here. Hold on a second. Oh, somebody knocked them down. Dang it. So okay. Where are those 3? Well, darn it all. Oh, here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, there's that one, and okay, here they are. So right here.
Oh yeah, the TOS. I used to have that.
Right. So there's your Enterprise A. Or that, I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry.
1701.
That's 1701. That's your original one that actually gets retrofitted, which is weird for
the first two
for the first
movies.
Yeah, for the first 3. It's first 2 movies.
Well, it gets a bit blown up in the third one, but yeah.
Yeah, it is the third one that it gets blown up. That's right. You're right. I forget about the explosion. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's the original. That's the original Enterprise right there. Then, after they blow it up. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. The one that it's just below. It's coming up through the nebula. right there. So you can see. Oops. Yeah. Oh.
I love the music from that. James Horner did such a great job on that soundtrack
So
for
you can
Rapid
see. So you can see the difference between the first two. I got to look at them instead of trying to look at the screen.
Yeah, they slicked up the nacelles on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty sweet looking. There's the original, and then here's the kind of super sleek, the blue and all that stuff, man. And
1701A. I love it when they get it in Star Trek 4 at the end, and they're like, "We're gonna get a garbage scow," and then it's
like, that story, guys. I'm telling you what, Zentek, I almost wish I could watch it with you, because maybe we should have like a watch party.
Honestly,
dude.
I'm down for a Star Trek 4 watch party, brother.
Dude, we could just like watch all the Star Trek movies. Maybe we just do Star Trek watch parties and just watch them here, guys. Yep. You guys can find them online, and we'll just do that. That'd be fun. All right, so there's your first two ships right there, and then you briefly see in. So that is the Excelsior class.
Oh yes,
Enterprise B,
Captain James Harriman.
Yes, who was? What movie was he in?
Darn it!
He was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Cameron, he was Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off is the captain of this ship.
Yeah, he was also in the movie Twister. He was one of the map guys.
Yep. So there you go, right there. See, I do have toys for everything.
I've always loved that ship. To be personally honest, I love the Excelsior. Yeah,
I like the Excelsior. I don't like
the retrofit's weird because of the saucer section. It's got that, or not the saucer, but the part of the hole there where it's around the deflector dish.
Well, because they didn't just take the Excelsior and make it the Enterprise, right? No, they didn't do that, did they?
No, they just it was a retrofitted design of it.
Yeah, so I mean, because it was a design kind of like where they're doing with the Enterprise E, where like they made all the ships. Well, they took the Voyager kind of pointed, more oval look instead of circular, and they kind of made all the ships that way, including the Enterprise, right? So so that was the thing. So the Excelsior turned into the Excelsior class, and so they made other ships that looked like the Excelsior, and it's my least favorite. I got to say, I like the Excelsior, the actual Excelsior. But I love the call.
I get you.
Yeah, I love the callback when Sulu first sees the Excelsior and he's just looking at it and he's just like,
I'd love to fly that ship.
Yeah, and then a couple movies later, he's the captain of the ship, or the next movie later, whatever, he's the captain of the ship. So you got that. Then, quite frankly, what is one of my favorite?
Not a bad one.
One of my favorite ones.
Yesterday's Enterprise, a very good episode, 3rd season, Star Trek Next Generation.
The Enterprise C. I love the I don't know what you call the middle section there, the bottom section
where the deflector dish is in the hull.
Yeah, I love that in the episode where Next Generation encounters them, and I love the saucer section.
Oh, I love the fact that it had Shooter McGavin was in that episode.
Oh yeah. Yes, the guy who played Shooter McGavin, and
they brought back Tasha Yar, and anytime they do that, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you see there, and I also like the warp engines here. The
nacelles look really nice on that.
The cells, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
The
try to get it dark because my lights are so bright.
The Ambassador class, that's a really nice ship. I like that.
So this is Ambassador class then.
Yeah, I used to have the technical manual.
Oh my gosh, it's just a beautiful ship. It's
yeah,
and I love it on the episode. To be quite honest with you, I love it on the episode.
It's one of the better episodes. It was like a mirror universe episode that Next Generation did.
Yeah,
so.
And then of course there's da 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 da. Galaxy class, you got
Enterprise D.
You got your Enterprise D, which is more kind of a, I don't know, what would you call that? I mean,
it's got a nice saucer section.
Yeah, and the saucer section comes off.
It's the Generations one. I had that one. That's where it lands.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's got the saucer section that comes off, which I always thought was a nice touch.
they originally intended on doing that in the motion picture.
Did they?
Yeah, it was part of the artwork.
That's nice. I always
think
thought
I
that
have
was a nice
book
touch.
around somewhere. The Art of Star Trek. I think I still have that.
I always thought that
And
was a
it's
nice
all that
touch.
concept art. Well, it's like people get upset about Discovery, and those were all designs before that. They were all like they were supposed to be next generation designs.
I love how like the artwork is like most of the time they show the ship, it makes the ship look like this, like it's flying like this.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was the Star Trek, the Next Generation customizable card game. That was how it was. That was the look of the ship. It made it look weird, honestly.
Well, because it's because they pan with a camera,
Yeah,
and so it's supposed to be going forward, and yet it's kind of going from like one side to the other, and like you see the bottom of the ship like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this was your ship for all of Star Trek Next Generation.
Well, and the best thing about the early Star Trek: The Next Generation movies is they were done by ILM right before the prequels. This is First Contact, Generations and First Contact. They started using CG, and they were the last two practical movies that they made before they made the Phantom Menace. So like.
Cup of Malik, like, oh, look at Cup of Malik flexing his knowledge right there. The one Enterprise C,
yeah,
Enterprise C right there is the one and only Enterprise ever captained by a female captain. You are absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Great call, Captain Malik.
Such a progressive show, I swear.
I know it's such a horrible show.
God,
thank you.
Time in the 90s.
So before we do get into well, he already answered this, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's why I got him on here, man.
Don't get me wrong. I love Star Wars, and I could talk Star Wars all day too. But I love Star Trek. Honestly, it's like you said earlier. It's one of those things that most people don't like. So it's like, hey, I kind of take a little pride or wear it like a badge of honor. I love it when other shows reference Star Trek. That gives me my little inside joy. You know, it's like that's kind of why I like Big Bang before they ruined everything.
Yeah. So Space Ninja, the only reason I got them was because my local toy guy had them all, and they were like $2 or $3 a piece. And I was just like, oh, I must have them all. Now, you remember this one. Before I show Enterprise E, I'm going to show it as it first appears.
Oh, hell yes. That is the USS Reliant.
Yes, it is.
That is a Miranda-class starship. That was from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
It is, because it goes up against, well, I mean, technically it's that ship, but...
Yeah, but it looks more like the...
It looks more like this one. Right? Because Khan gets on this ship, baby, and then you got him coming up through the nebula.
Oh, yeah. Two-dimensional thinking.
Oh, yeah, don't crash him, right?
Yeah.
You got this part of the...
And that whole scene, and the funniest thing about that movie is Montalban and Shatner never once face-to-face interacted in that movie.
Oh my gosh.
Not once.
You are so right. Okay, dude. You just blew my mind on something right there, because oh my gosh.
There was some interviews where he's talking, Montalban's talking, I would be giving this angry dialogue, and then there'd be this like script girl on the other side of the screen just like, he's like, damn you, Kirk, and he's like, this poor woman is just like, I don't know what to do.
So many great one-liners from that man.
Oh man, that movie's been memed to death.
Kirk, I don't want to kill you. I want to hurt you, and I wish to go on hurting you.
I love that whole the device. I mean, it made no sense, but it was just so cool, dramatically speaking. It was just slide one cup. I spit in your face. Boom! I hope you die. And it's like, yeah.
Oh man!
Now the vengeance there was just so over the top. I mean,
the whole by the book thing, like Like, oh my gosh, Star Trek 2, Zentek. I seriously wish I could be there when you watch like the Wrath of Khan for the first time, because it is so classic. I can't imagine what it would be like to watch that again for the first time, like, because it's so quotable. It's so quotable. But then you got what? So do you say this is your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Because this is my least favorite. See, so we can disagree. It's all right. I won't kick you. So that was all of Brian's time that he could be with us. Thanks for having Brian on the show. So now we're just going to talk about the worst ship that was ever in Star Trek. I mean, Brian didn't really want to talk about this one anyways. It absolutely sucks. You don't have to like it. We don't even have to watch it. I look at it. We're just going to toss that one. So anyways, thanks guys for tuning in.
No, I think we've established that I'm a mark for Star Trek First Contact.
Yes.
And that ship was introduced in First Contact. So I remember I have the film trailer, the actual trailer in film.
Oh, really?
Yes. And that trailer did not show that ship. So when I first saw that on screen, I went nuts. Like I saw it First Contact the day it came out. November 22nd, 1996. I was in 8th grade.
See, I don't like the saucer section.
They turn the D around. It's basically the same one as the Enterprise D, but I like how sleek it looks.
It's really skinny. I guess what I always like, because I mean this to me is classic, right? I mean the A.
Yeah, it's kind of a combination of the two.
Yeah, what they retrofitted for the first ship and the Enterprise A is just classic, right? I mean, you got this whole it's three-dimensional,
mm-hmm.
I guess. There's a whole thing to it there, because you got the saucer section, and you got like the cigar, there, and all of that. And to me, it's like when you did this, you just kind of made it all super skinny. You kind of it almost looks, yeah, it's like you smushed it all together like a hamburger, and stuff. And so that
turned it around and smushed it.
Yeah, because it just doesn't seem like, I mean, because there's no longer that section that leads up to the saucer section. It's just like the saucer section is just like part of the body now.
Yeah.
And this doesn't come off too good.
The designer who did that, John Eves, he basically was the ship designer from that one onward.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the ships are going to kind of look somewhat similar. I mean, even Voyager to an extent. And the Defiant, which I also love.
Yeah. So I've got all the Enterprises there. And so
that's the one I didn't have. I didn't have the Micro Machine of the Enterprise E. Because it didn't come out yet when I had it, but I also had the bronze coated ones or whatever.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I want to get was a Deep Space Nine. I want to get.
Now I do have the one from the new movies at work.
Mm-hmm.
Now and it's not the Micro Machine type. It's actually metal. It's the Hot Wheels version.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and of course I have what was the big black one from what was that called?
Is it the one from the 2009?
Yeah, no, it was in the second one, wasn't it? Because it was actually in the darkness.
I have one of those at work. I saw it the other day on the shelves.
Yes.
The Devastator or whatever the hell it was called. I don't know. It was Khan's ship.
What's up, Tony? Good
Admiral Robocop's ship.
Yeah, well, and that ship is amazing looking. A big, huge black ship that dwarfs the Enterprise. What is that ship called? Okay, that's it.
I want to say it's called the Devastator or something like that.
I don't think it's Devastator.
That sounds a little too Darth Vader-y.
It does. Ships in Star Trek Into Darkness. Oh, somebody's already. It's. I love this big ship in Star Trek Into Darkness. It auto-populated. The Vengeance.
Oh, the Vengeance.
That's a ship right there, man. That's a huge honking ship, but it looks so cool, and it's hollow in the middle.
Yeah, it's kind of got that thing that Discovery's got going on with it.
Yeah, it's hollow in the middle. Here, I'll bring it up for those of you who haven't. I mean, if you
Those are
haven't
some
seen
of the designs, like I was saying, that they were going to use for like phase 2 and early next generation concept art. Yeah, that's it right there.
it. Yeah. Oh, oops.
I don't know. I own the movie. I've seen it a bunch of times, but after being such a fan of Wrath of Khan, just yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. And that's definitely how I feel
Well,
about it as well.
it's the same thing with I hate to say it, but Nemesis. I mean, there was literal copying of scenes from that movie. Like upon further review, I was like, oh, okay. But it was Tom Hardy's like first movie role.
That's true. Now let's look at the ship from Lower Decks. Let's see if I can pull up that ship to kind of show you
The
guys.
Cerritos.
Can we talk about just for a second too the opening to Lower Decks? What did you think about the opening?
That's pretty funny,
dude? That's what caught me at first. That I had to laugh because they show it, the classic like flyby type of thing, where it's like flying by something, and yet it flies by something and like it hits something.
It gets pulled in by the gravity.
Now there's okay. Now what is this? That there's a warp sled? What?
What?
Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm gonna save this image. I'm gonna bring that up here in just a second because we might be learning something about this.
Fascinating.
This is fascinating. I did not realize that ship could do that.
I had to put the eyebrow up because you can't not say fascinating and raise an eyebrow.
Oh, of course. Okay. I'm trying to find a good well, so should I pull up a schematic look to it that it looks real, or should I pull up the cartoon version?
Yeah, either way.
Okay.
I like the design of it. I mean, they say it looks like a table with a coffee table, but I'm just like, whatever, man.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll pull up that, and then let me pull up. There's not a lot of good pictures of it, man. I'm actually really surprised. There's not a lot of like okay, full like picture. And it's weird. The pictures are like all weird of it. Huh. This is weird. Okay. So let me bring it in here, and that way I can bring it on full screen, and we can take a look at it here, because this is fascinating. Actually, man, I'm looking at this, and let's see, where did I save those to? If I could find where I saved them to. I thought I saved them. Now I feel like Max. Okay, I saved them to downloads. Okay. All right. I didn't. I thought I saved them to my desktop, but apparently I did not. Okay. So first of all, here's what the ship is supposed to actually look like. Real. I get. Well, I mean, it's a good drawing. So it's not like real, but it's a drawing, and so you can see right there.
Oh wow,
that's a good looking ship.
Yeah,
I think so. Now I'll show you. Yeah, it's kind of weird to see it that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll bring up that in a second, but first I want to bring up so this looks like it was out of a magazine or something, and this is the best thing that I could find of it, Brian. This is weird. Like, you can see the folds in the paper, but this is what the ship looks like.
Yeah.
In the show.
No, I like it. I mean, it carries that Federation design aesthetic. I mean, you got your nacelles, your deflector dish.
Got your warp core there.
Section, everything inside. I mean, the warp core looks cool. I can't say enough good things about it right now. I mean, it especially since we've had such a lack of content out there recently.
Yes.
With everything, it's like, why not jump on something like this? And honestly, I can't think of anything better at this point, to actually just to totally embrace and have a good time watching it.
Yeah. So, okay. So now I'm seeing this. It has a question mark on it, but this is something interesting to think about for going forward for the show, whether this will turn into something or not.
Yeah.
That's I hadn't thought about that, but when you look at the way that it's connected, yeah,
Yeah, it
I can
makes
see
sense.
that. So
Well, not only that, but since the Next Generation, saucer separation is a thing. So I
all right,
wouldn't be surprised if it had landing gear like Voyager, because it's
there you go. All right, man. We'll see you later, Gavin. We're going to get out of here in a few minutes, but we've been talking Trek, guys, and lower decks especially. And
having fun.
yeah, this has been fun. And you know what I love is that everybody's been very interactive with this.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to hear people's thoughts and stories about how much they love Star Trek. And I mean, it sounds like we're getting to dude, Brian, if anything else, we're getting to turn Zantek onto Star Trek,
Yeah,
like where
honestly,
he should start.
if I could get that for one person, I feel like I've done my job. I love it, so I love sharing it with other people. So it's
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just seeing the knowledge that so many people have of Trek, and just remember, the memories. Oh, look at there, Jeff with the Enterprise D there as his yeah, man, look at that. Look at that with the Enterprise D as his avatar there. That's awesome. So yeah, there's just so many good memories for Star Trek for me, I know. And this, like I said, I knew that we were going to talk more than just about the show, because we couldn't get like into the particulars of a lot of the show. But the animation's great. The animation's great. If you like Rick and Morty, it's not crazy. It's not like Adult Swim crazy.
No, but it's just enough to where it's like, you know what I mean? It's not going to elicit full belly laughs. It did a couple of times, but for the most part, if you can get a good couple out of me, that's saying something, especially nowadays. All right, have a good night, brother.
Yeah, man. Zantek. Now reject the Trek cult.
Reject the Trek cult.
That's funny.
That's something Doomcock would say.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, look, Geeks Cosmics and Entertainment says I enjoy Lower Decks. I just started it today. So did I, man. That's what prompted this. Is I just started it today. I wanted to see it, and I got a chance to see it, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed
it. That's awesome.
I like the animation. I like the lightness of it. I like the fun of it, because
that's something we need, honestly, with everything that's been going on.
Well, with everybody kind of talking about how like there's a lot of people I know who talk like their Star Trek has gone away. Right? What they loved about Star Trek, they have a real hard time. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of understand. I understand this idea. Star Trek was always about moving forward. Now, one of the things that I kind of do take issue with a little bit is the fact that it seems like everything that we've gotten out of Star Trek for quite a while has been the past.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
That's kind of, I'm tired of seeing prequels across the board.
Me too.
So when they announced Discovery, I wasn't that excited about it. And I think that's why I tended to give Picard more of the benefit of the doubt, because it was a continuation as opposed to something that was happening before. But I think it's going to be, there's a bright future to be had.
Yeah. Well, so with Lower Decks, this is the future. So that's going to be really interesting, because we can see a lot of stuff, Brian, that we haven't seen up to this point, because they reference Deanna Troy, and they reference
there's so
Next
much
Generation
more there's so much more that they could bring out. Yeah, exactly. It's just the sky's the limit with what they can do. I mean, at the end of Deep Space Nine, I think there was a bit of a void. I think if they would have made like a Deep Space Nine movie or something, instead of one of the other Next Generation movies, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah. So do you know what the timeline is on Lower Decks?
It's supposed to take place after the Next Generation ish. Kind of after Deep Space Nine, or
Okay.
during. But the uniforms I'm not too sure about. Like I said, I'm not gonna hold it in all seriousness with what's
with
been
canon,
out.
but I mean, but obviously it's got even a
But
fun
no,
story
it
like
still
that.
has grounded. But to my knowledge, it's been that window.
Okay, because even the costumes or the costumes, the uniforms, feel more like
Next generation.
like kind of like the next part of Next Generation, almost, but they're almost ceremonial.
Yeah, it's kind of weird
because they overlap. It's not like
mhm.
a tunic, or like a shirt. It's
It's kind of like the ones that they had on Picard 14 years, but when the attack happened.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
see Picard and
Yes.
front. That's kind of what they remind me of. Which, like I said, I don't care. Hell, I even like the Discovery uniforms. I mean, if you didn't try to shoehorn them in, and that's why I like the second season, because they bridged the gap between the uniforms.
Yeah. Well, Geeks Cosmic says you got me into Bill and Ted. Excellent. I need that effect.
That'd be awesome.
And then Tony asked the question: is it canon? No. I mean, I guess not.
Well, supposedly it is, but honestly, who cares?
Really, are they saying that it's canon?
Yes, but honestly, like I said, I don't put much stock in it. You could look at it two ways. One, you could go down the road where you have canons by the writers, and that's kind of how I believe. It's like, I don't write that stuff, it's them.
Sure.
Okay, but there's headcanon. Everybody's got their own headcanon. So
true.
I mean, put it there. Like what you like, watch what you want to watch. We're talking about older stuff, so it's like, if you want, go back and watch it, because that's the best way to experience it, especially with something like Deep Space Nine, because it has experienced a bit of a resurgence. They put out a documentary a couple years ago that I helped review with another YouTuber. It was called What We Left Behind. And man, it was great. Great documentary. Brought back a lot of the writers and all that stuff. One of the main writers, Ronald Moore, co-wrote First Contact, was the creator behind the Battlestar Galactica, the new one. And so I mean, the writers have gone a long way. I need to rewatch the original movies. I mean, it's been a while. Every time I go to San Francisco, I watch Star Trek 4. And Kirk Thatcher being the punk on the bus.
That's awesome.
He was a writing assistant or whatever, and he was just like, yeah, I got a punk band.
That's awesome.
So I was like, yeah, it was cool. It just all fit. I love it.
That's awesome. This is something that's out of my I'm not sure. One question: does the game Star Trek Legacy is part of the canon story? I like the way they span the story from original series to original series TNG.
If it is, it has a lot of Borg explanation, because that's the one that you basically chase a Vulcan from Enterprise all the way up, right? Because that game was awesome, if I'm remembering the same game. It was on like Xbox 360 or whatever. But
10 years. I don't after
so.
The Next Generation, says Jeff.
Well, and then here's the other problem. The problem with Star Trek in canon specifically is that there's a lot of contradiction in the episodes. Like the animated series will contradict The Next Generation and vice versa and stuff like that. So pegging what is canon is kind of like Star Wars before Disney took over.
Yeah,
what I mean? It's really muddy.
Tony loves Deep Space Nine. There were people earlier tonight who had a lot of love for Deep Space Nine. A lot of love for Deep Space Nine tonight in the chat. So I gotta say, so Cylon, I gotta ask, man, is it that I think I saw that you did not enjoy it. So, and you know what? And that's okay, because like we've had Robert Meyer Burnett here on the show, and we're looking to have him again. But the thing is like, he's the guy who literally digitized all of the original series, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. He talked about on the show when we had him on here that he spent a year doing nothing but watching Star Trek. Wow. Because he would go to work and literally be there all day long, and he had to digitize it. So he would take like the old tapes and convert them to digital. And in doing so, that was his job for a year, man.
Yeah, I've got the
was watching everything Star Trek that he possibly could. The original series completely.
The bonus features on here. He directed the bonus features on the Blu-rays, and well, they were DVDs, but they transferred them over to the Blu-rays.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, he says it's cool, not hating, but I love it because he says, I've disagreed with some things tonight, but overall, this has been a great talk, and I still like Brian. So there you go.
Far out, man. Cool.
There you go. Well, hey, Brian, man, it's great having you on tonight, man. It's great talking. So I just got to say, these first 3 episodes, I'm in. Like they sold me on it. Like I said that about Robert Meyer Burnett. Now Robert Meyer Burnett, he did all that stuff. He's like, obviously, he helped consult with Star Trek: The Experience out in Las Vegas when that was out there, and I've been to that. I've been on it, so I can literally say that I've been on the Enterprise D. Dude, it's so awesome. I can't even explain it. Like
by the time I got down there, it was long gone.
You guys should find it here on YouTube. There's walkthroughs for the Star Trek Experience in Las Vegas, and it will literally take you through as if you were on the ride, and it's not just a ride. You literally
you go into Deep Space Nine, the promenade with Quark's bar. I mean, I've always wanted to go.
That was part of that. Yeah, that was part of just the experience, just being there. They had Quark's bar. I actually bought some Romulan ale and brought it back for me and my buddy to have some. And I brought him and his wife a bottle of. I took a huge chance bringing it back on the airplane, dude. Oh my gosh, because I had to pack it in my luggage, and I was just like, I was scared to death to open up my luggage when I got home because
alcohol.
because what I brought home was Romulan ale, which is blue, and that's bad enough. But I also brought him and his wife a bottle of Klingon blood wine.
Yeah.
And that was a chance to take. Oh my gosh, because I was just ready.
You'd have been real patriotic if you had with your socks and underwear.
Oh my gosh, like the pressure in the airplane. I was just ready to, and then I opened it up and it was fine. And so I presented it to him, and they loved it. And he came over, and we had a couple of Romulan ales, and even though it's illegal, you still can have one every once in a while. So he says first Superman museum, and now this show. That was years ago, dude. That was back in the 90s.
Yeah, they got rid of it in the early 2000s. It's the hotel's not even there anymore.
But I know the Hilton is not there. The Hilton was my grandmother's hotel. She managed musicians at that. My grandma, I still haven't had the heart to tell her. I took pictures of it, and I don't have the heart to tell her yet because that was her hotel. Like she actually worked out of there. Like a lot of people used to call her like Mrs. Hilton and stuff, like as a joke, like that she worked with there and stuff. And so, yeah, I think I was actually disappointed. I mean, they used to have the lighted thing that went around that said Hilton and stuff. And we stayed literally right across the street from it in the Marriott Suites or whatever, right across the street. And it was just so hard every day leaving the hotel, looking at that going, dang it.
Yeah, our Hilton's gone too. The one in Reno.
I mean, they have another Hilton there now, but the Hilton Resorts, So
yeah, it's just like it's a hotel basically.
But that hotel just had a unique design to it and everything. But the thing is, like I was saying, Robert Meyer Burnett, he helped do all that stuff with Star Trek, and he cannot stand Lower Decks.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something we'll have to talk to him about.
Well, no, I mean, I understand where he's coming from because he's kind of the family friendly aspect of it, and I understand. Yeah. He knows his Trek, and Trek really is one of those things where you can show your kids and not be afraid to tell them to avert their eyes. And a lot of the new stuff that comes out, it's kind of not that.
Yeah, I didn't, and I mean, we haven't seen that much yet out of Lower Decks yet. I didn't see a lot of besides, the drinking stuff, but we've seen that.
But I mean, there wasn't as much as what they were trying to say it was.
Yeah,
I mean, I would let my kids watch it. I mean, it's not
me too. So I didn't see anything really bad.
I mean, it's no worse than like Beavis and Butthead or anything I used to watch when I was a kid.
And it's not low. It's not as low brow.
Yeah, it's nowhere near
humor. I think it's smart humor. I don't know, but I think
highbrow humor that is synonymous with Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you got to be smart to get it.
Yeah,
So. But I like this, and I think this is a great way to start to go out. This is Jay Money says Brian's a cool guy. I enjoy seeing him on the different streams. Got to get him on here some more.
Oh,
Brian,
yeah.
I need you to hit me up for a sub for sub. What's the name of your channel? Brian, why don't you go ahead and tell us your channel so that people can go over and support
absolutely.
you, buddy?
My channel is Brian Hill, the Master of None. I just put out a video last week about Star Trek Lower Decks. Yeah, I like to talk Star Trek, Star Wars.
Now, are you already doing a review video?
I have been, but honestly, I would like more into it. So I just do my own little one. It takes me like 15, 20 minutes to slap it together, and then
Because I don't want to take away from what you're doing.
Oh, no worries. It's an easy way to funnel into my channel because I just cracked the barrier of 60. So 60 subscribers. So we're getting
guys,
there.
we got to get him up to 100 subscribers at least, guys.
Well, yeah, I want to do a good throwdown. It'll be good times. But
yeah, so
like
come on, go over to Brian Hill, Master of None, and go show him some love, man. Go subscribe to him.
And I'm working
right
on my DC love video too. I mean, like I said, I love everything. I am also a nerd, so I'll find my place.
There you go. Well, like I Brian, it's been really make this a spin-off with Brian. There you go. So you can do your review and then
no, I'm down, man. That'd be awesome.
So that's cool, man. But yeah, I remember, when I first met you and stuff, Brian's kind of quiet because we stream with a lot of people who have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much so. And it's hard to interject sometimes.
Yep. And I'm that way too. I mean, I it's not hard for me to interject. I'm going to say something. I'm an extrovert. And so you get me going and I'm going to say what I got to say and I'm going to find my place in there, I
played that earlier today, actually.
There you go. There you go. Oh, here we go. Oh, I get it. Okay, he actually added the K at the end. That's what it was. Yeah, okay, that's where it was.
No, Star Wars: The Old Republic's a fun game, though.
Absolutely,
I love that MMO.
So, but what I always love about you, Brian, is when you have something to say, you throw it down, you say what you got to say, and you get out. Like I love, like your pinpoint, man. It's like boom. It's like you hit
talking about what I did to Phobic last night.
Oh my gosh, what a burn!
Well, the thing is, okay, I've been watching it for a long time, and I like Phobic. He's a good dude, but I understand what he does. Mm-hmm. So it's like he goes in and he purposefully trolls people.
Yeah,
and I understand, but sometimes it comes across as being kind of dickish in my book a little bit.
Sure.
So it's like, no, dude, you keep going on, and I kind of had to say the same to Michael, and I felt bad about it, but it was like, it's not every time's the right time to pound that political drum. And like, if we're talking about nerdy stuff, it's like, dude, just come on.
Well, I loved it. I wasn't even in the stream. I was watching the stream, man. I was in the chat room, and like all of a sudden you dropped that bomb, and I'm like, oh,
well, man, you kept going on about Miramax. It's like, when was the last Miramax movie you watched? Jesus, man. Anything that was the Weinstein Company. You think they're gonna make movies after what happened to Harvey?
For those of you who don't know, he was on Mad Max's channel last night, and they were talking about Disney not wanting to make R-rated movies, and that we're basically, if you're looking for,
they're gonna do it through a subsidiary, not through Disney.
Yeah, and but Phobic kept talking about Miramax, and Brian just obliterated, man. He set all phasers on kill, and then he launched some torpedos, and
then they were like, well, why are you bashing us? I'm like, I was like, no, dude, I've had enough. You're purposefully being a contrarian. So
other people were there. Yeah. I wasn't the only one. It was funny. No, it was just funny because Phobic gives it to everybody. And so,
of course, and that's fine. He's given it to me before, and I understand, and I've known when I was in the wrong, because it's for him. It's don't beat him with groupthink kind of thing.
There you go. There's Brian's chat. I was going to do it, and so thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not a mod in your channel, or else I would have.
Yeah, I'll have to make you a mod on the channel.
No worries, dude.
Yeah, but Mike drop. He dropped the mic on Phobic. It was
great. I know it was I don't know. It was kind of a long time coming. I've known him since I've been with Max, so he's always been a mod on Max's channel. So whoever Brain is, he's already subbed to Brain, so that's good.
I'm just messing with you. Messing.
Hey, I spell my name wrong all the time.
There you go. So the Geeks has already subscribed to you. DC Talk just added you, which is awesome. J Money just added you. So check that out. Oh, and Silent Scotty wants to know what server you played Knights of the Old Republic on.
I don't know offhand, but I'll yeah, I don't know offhand, but I'll have to shoot a
all right,
put it in a link or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get that. Well, hey, Brian, thank you, man, for this was fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting to do this for a long time, so
this was a cool talk. I really enjoyed talking Star Trek with you, and just like I said, the attitude of everyone with this was fun and uplifting, and what Star Trek is supposed to be.
Yeah, and really, I think that's what the world needs right now, honestly.
Absolutely. Well, thanks guys for joining us. Like I said, this is a little bit of a different type of stream tonight. I thought we might hit a different topic, a new topic that we hadn't hit, and I think that it went really well, and we'll definitely have to talk about doing some more and hitting some more things. I do want to hit a couple of things real quick. Look for this week. First of all, thank you to all of our. I still got to get that white thing behind that. I totally messed that up when I made that. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. We really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys just. I'm always humbled by you guys for sure. Don't forget that we had a couple of givers this tonight in with super chats. So if you give a super chat, or if you become a Patreon subscriber, or anyway, I mean, if you give to the Cash App, we got Cash App. That's all down in the description below. You can also give us via PayPal. That is in the description below as well. Anybody who gives anything to the channel, you are put into our monthly giveaway. This month, it is the Riddler from Batman Forever, this pop vinyl right here. And Silent Scotty, I think you're going to like next month's, because I already have next month's ready to go, and I think you're going to understand why. You probably already got it, but I think you're going to understand why you're going to like it. Also, guys, don't forget we do have logoed items, all kinds of stuff. These are just the t-shirts, but we also have all kinds of fun other products with these logos on it and this stuff on it, so you guys can get all of that. All that is in the description below. All right, guys. Well, you know what? You guys are awesome. You're the best. I got to say, you guys are the best YouTube subscribers and viewers anybody could ever hope for. And look at there, even Tony subscribed to you, and he's a good guy to have, man. So
thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So there, I think that this sums it up. We got I love Star Trek.
Me
hashtag I love Star Trek. There you go. Kind of goes along with our hashtag I love Star Wars thing. Oh, neat. Computer, I do believe it's time to end the show now. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. It is always so much fun to have you guys, and I appreciate all of you. Don't forget our comic book giveaway will be again this week, which we'll have more stuff for you guys for that. And I think that's about it. We got all that brought to you, of course, by the Milee Store. Gotta give them a little plug here on the channel. Hope you guys had a good time this weekend with Crisis on Infinite streams and all that stuff. That was a blast. Man, we're still digesting that stuff. There's still much, man. And people apparently, like leaving the channel because of their love for the Batman. I don't know why, because I really liked the trailer.
Didn't not like it.
I didn't not like it that much. Please come back. Baby, come back. All right, guys. Until next time, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, along with
Brian Hill, the Master of None.
That's right, and he's mastering some Star Trek, and that's why we're gonna have him back. All right, guys. Until next time, stay nerdy. I love what Brian said. He's echoing what I always say. Don't let anybody tell you that your fandom doesn't matter. Don't let anybody tell you that your opinions or your thoughts don't matter. I even contacted somebody today who had a completely crazy different. Oh my gosh, tweeted out something horrible. I don't even know why, because I appreciate other people's opinions, but about the Snyder Cut, she just did not like it at all. And I even reached out to them and said, hey, I'd love to have you on the show sometime. I'd love to talk to you about your thoughts and your opinions, because when we have reactions sometimes to things at first, and we're like, what the heck is wrong with you? And then we start, where's that coming from? Why is that? And that's the heart of the matter. We got to remember that we're human beings, and so you know what? It's okay to like something different than somebody else, and it's okay to not like something that somebody else likes. It's all good in my estimation. So if you end up liking Lower Decks, hey, awesome. We could talk about it and we can all nerd out to it, and you can hang out with me and Brian and we'll have a good time. If you don't like Lower Decks, it's okay. You can go watch something else and we'll all come back together again over something that we do like. All right. But until next time, just stay nerdy and be good to each other. We'll talk to you soon.
And prosper.
Live long and prosper. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.